What you see behind me is not a spaceship that landed and happened it didn't make it back. Okay. What you see right there is the boat of Khufu. That is his solar boat. This boat is 140 feet long, longer than Captain Cook's boat. When this boat was excavated in 1954 in a pit, over 1,200 pieces, the boat was dismantled. And they took 1,200 pieces to reconstruct this boat of Khufu. Now, what was the purpose of this boat? This boat was called the Nuaunk. What is the Nuaunk? What was the Nuaunk? The flooding of the Nile was called the Nuaunk. Now, when the Nile flooded, it was Khufu who realized that he could take his solar astral journey through the Nile to the celestial Nile, that was the Milky Way, to take him back to his father, Asar. So the Milky Way was looked at as the celestial Nile, like the earthly Nile. So it was the Nuaunk that took him back. That was the purpose of his boat. That later it was corrupted into Noah's Ark. Noah's Ark was taken from the Nuaunk. This is where it came from. Nowhere are you going to find no Noah's Ark. If you were back at the time of 4,000 years ago, or during the time of Khufu, and you asked him about Noah, boy, what's wrong with you? Know nothing about no Noah. You see my boat here? This is where the story came from. The flood, the great flood. There were many floods. There was the flood of Zoser. It was Zoser during the time when he commissioned to Khnum and to Upper Kemet to let the flood waters of the Nuaunk come back to flood the land, because here you see the drought took place, and Khnum said, you have not given recognition to your homeland, the south, Upper Egypt. And then we see Khnum let the flood waters open up. This is where we get the story. This information is not given to no one here but you, because you got a whole different reason for being back here. And that is to tell the truth. We want the truth and nothing but the truth. That's what we want here. You see? It's a new day. Something is opening up here. It's a spiritual consciousness. So you are looking at the Nuaunk, where the Noah's Ark came from. The Nuaunk. That's the origin. Now they got it encased in this casing here. That boat was a spiritual, symbolic boat to take Khufu back to the celestial Nile. What was the purpose of the celestial Nile? The celestial Nile symbolically took him back to his spiritual father and first father, that was Asar. So here you see the inundation of the Nile connected with the Milky Way. This was called the Nuaunk. The flooding of the Nile was called the Nuaunk. And that was the purpose of Khufu's boat, was symbolically and spiritually was to take him back to his spiritual father. And that was during the inundation. So when the Nuaunk took place, that spiritually told us that we would connect to the Milky Way. That Nuaunk was corrupted to Noah's Ark. We got the boats, brothers and sisters. Here's the boat right here. If you went back to over 4,000 years ago in the fourth dynastic period and asked Khufu about Noah, boy, what's wrong with you? I don't know nothing about those Noah. Here's my boat right here. Here's all the animals of the world doing the number one, number two, and everything. They just tell us any kind of stories. That's why they can only give you a picture of the story.
The circle and the cross the measure of all things. Everything in the universe is viewed spiritually inside of the circumscription of the circle as universe. The circle that has no center and whose circumference is everywhere is the idea that we have of infinity. This infinity is primal cause. It is not God. It is that which causes God to exist. When Noah built the ark and brought in all the animals 2 by 2, the ram, Aries, the donkey, Libra, the goat, Capricorn, the crab, Cancer, the bull, Taurus, the scorpion, Scorpio, and on and on. Those are all the animals, 2 by 2. And then Noah barred the door. Noah, wait a minute. Barred the door. That's the circle and the cross. That's the skull and crossbone, which has become an evil thing.